Hey, welcome to my channel. So if you're an entrepreneur, I'm sure you heard of the word niche or have been told by one or many people you need to niche down to be successful in your business. And if you are a new entrepreneur or have never heard of the word niche, don't worry, you have found the perfect video because I'm covering all things niching. Not sure if that's a word, but we're rolling with it. Just in case this is your first time to my channel, my name is Megan. Don't forget to go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're looking for entrepreneur tips, Canva tutorials, or anything about growing your business and your personal branding. This is the channel for you. So what does it even mean to niche down? So when I say niche down, it means knowing who your ideal client or customer is so that you can align your marketing efforts towards those clients or customers. What niche down doesn't mean, and these may be different from things that you may have heard from other entrepreneurs and other people in business. Niching down is not just focusing on one product. Niching down also is not just focusing on one social media platform to run all of your marketing efforts. And a huge thing that I think people get confused about, niching down is not turning away customers that don't fit your ideal client or customer. You're going to get people interested in your services or your products that are outside of your ideal customer, and that's perfectly fine. Actually, it's wonderful. That means you're just tapping into more markets than you planned for. So now that we have a basic understanding of what it means to niche down, let's go dive deeper, and that way we can see how it can benefit your business. So if you're anything like me, being told to niche down feels like an impossible task. I'm a multi-passionate person, so when I create products or have new services to offer, I know that it's going to help everyone. So everyone's my audience, right? Well, no. When you try to market to everyone, you can't market as successful as you would if you actually took the time to niche down and figure out who you're actually talking to. So take me, for example. When I started my YouTube channel, I was planning to help all entrepreneurs. I didn't care what age, I didn't care where you lived, I didn't care family dynamics, I didn't care how long you've been in business. And if you weren't already an entrepreneur, then I plan to help show you why you should be an entrepreneur. So I was really focused on everyone. I had a lot of great information, but it wasn't tailored to any particular client or any particular ideal client. So I was just talking to everyone and reached very few people. So in doing that, I learned that there was no successful way for me to set up a marketing plan that would attract anyone. So my marketing plan was very general. I tried different videos, I tried different topics, and I kind of left it in this big bubble where it's going to help everyone. So everyone's going to see it, everyone's going to love it. And what happened was my messaging was confusing because no one knew exactly who I was talking to. So they weren't sure if my content was for them or not. So I wasn't even able to reach the people that I actually wanted to help. So how do you niche down? My very simple answer is figure out who you love to work with and make that your ideal client. So I'm not big in the science of studying demographics, studying do they live in this state or this state? Are they from north or south? What's their family dynamic? And going too deep into it because you can kind of get lost in the details and lose track of actually building your business. I personally believe that choosing at least female or male for your ideal client is important only because when it comes to your marketing efforts and branding colors and things like that, and going into your brand personality, I will leave a link to video all about building your personal brand. But going back to like your branding colors and everything, you're going to want to know who you want to attract. So if your ideal client is male, your branding colors are not going to be a whole palette full of paint. So I know most people, when they talk about how they niche down, they don't tell you their ideal client. I learn better by example. So I want to kind of give you an idea of who my ideal client is and how I built that out. So you can see kind of how to build your own out. So my ideal client is female, ages 25 to 40, either a new entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur. So they could have just started, they could have just been put it on the back burner, family and everything else comes first. And then the last thing is mom. I choose mothers because being a mom myself, I know the struggles and the balance of trying to take care of kids, take care of husband, take care of house, take care of business, take care of other business, take care of sickness and school and everything else. So it's important for me to want to help other moms learn that there's other ways besides working a full-time job. Once I sat down and figured out my ideal client, I quickly realized I was basically describing me when I first started out in my entrepreneurship journey. Knowing the struggles in the beginning really made me want to relieve that for other female entrepreneurs. And I do want to say your ideal client does not have to be a version of you at some point in your life. It can be the total opposite. That's just how it worked out for me. That's the people who I enjoy helping. So you have your ideal client. So that's it, right? For some people, yeah. So if you're focused on only one product or service, defining your ideal client may be all that you need to really start pushing out your marketing efforts. For me, that's not the case. Once I defined my ideal client and niche down and knew that's who I was focusing on, then it was like, okay, now I have 1,000 different things I want to do to help them, 1,000 different products I want to offer to them, and 1,000 different services that I know will help them grow in their journey. So instead of me niching down more like I should have in the beginning, I just got creating. I was excited. I had all this energy. So I created amazing products between business planners, regular planners, worksheets, basically anything you can think of. I went on a creating spree and just started loading things everywhere, loading things on Etsy, sending out freebies. Whatever I created, I just wanted to share with the world. The problem was I didn't focus on one thing at a time. So you're that person who thinks that they can do it all, you know, the one that carries 27 grocery bags up the steps. Yeah, me too. So for all my multi-passionate people, here's what we do. Make a running list of your ideas. I prefer notebook, like composition book or just a spiral notebook, but you can use whatever works for you, whether it's Post-its, notebook, the notes app on your phone. Figure out what's going to work for you and what you will be able to keep up with and stick with that. Once you have your list started, and don't worry, you can add to it every day. You can add to it every month. Keep adding to it. Keep all your ideas written down somewhere. You have to figure out 3 things. First off, what of your ideas would you like to do? What isn't going to feel like a burden? It's not going to feel like you're working 10 times harder because it's something outside of your comfort zone. Number 2, what ideas are going to generate income and what level of income are they going to generate? And number 3, how long will the idea take to come to life? So if one of your ideas is like a 12-month process, you have to hire outside contractors and you don't have the budget for that, that idea should be pushed further to the end until you have that budget. Don't waste your time planning and figuring all that out if you're not ready to go ahead and push that idea forward. And a mistake I see a lot of people make is you don't want to burden yourself with ideas that you won't enjoy just because you saw someone else successfully do it. Your ideal customer or client is going to have many pain points and you don't have to be the one to solve them all. Pick a few that you can enjoy solving, pick a few that you're good at solving and focus on that instead of focusing on what other people in the market are doing. Find the pain points that you are going to be good at solving and enjoy solving. As you progress in your business, you may find the need to kind of niche down more. And I definitely encourage that. You're going to see where your ideal client lays. You can actually look into demographics and look into research based off of the content that you already have. But in the beginning, I say keep it simple. Kind of play around, figure out if you're doing YouTube channels, who's actually watching, what's the demographics there, where are they from, and things like that. As you grow, look at those demographics and make changes based off those demographics. Like I said, I learned from examples. So my daughter also has a YouTube channel where she plays games and we were getting her set up. We were doing this. Well, she decided she wanted to do something on her own, just a screen share, and it took off. Her video went completely viral and we were shocked. We didn't know what we did. We're worried about keto, we're worried about this, we're worried about all the things that you usually worry about, and hers just took off on its own. Once we were able to step back and look at the demographics, we realized a lot of her audience was outside of the US and outside in different time zones. So the times that we were posting had to change based off of the demographics of her audience. But by taking all of this into consideration, whether you're doing gaming, whether you're doing business, whether you're doing tutorials, whether you're doing photography, all of this is going to drastically help your social media marketing. One example of this is knowing what platforms to use. So if your audience base, say, is ages 15 to 20, you're probably not going to want to focus all of your efforts on Facebook. It's an older demographic. You're not going to build as big of an audience as fast because you're not focused on the right social media platform. TikTok may be your answer there. Instagram Reels may be your answer, but Facebook is an older demographic and it's not going to fit that audience. So I know I got sidetracked with all the social media stuff and demographics. But back to the ideas. Figure out what idea you're going to start with and roll with it, run with it. Put your effort there, really focus on that idea. And I think most importantly, set a goal for that idea. So I wasn't great at setting goals for specific products or specific services. I just kind of was like, I'm just going to get everything out there and we're going to see what happens. So say, for instance, a YouTube channel. Some of the goals you may decide to set are the amount of subscribers you have or the amount of monthly views. And don't go back to your idea list until you've reached that goal. So if your goal is, for my YouTube channel, I want to have 100 subscribers. You should be focused on your YouTube channel and the content there before you move on to, say, you're making a digital planner. Accomplish that goal so that you feel that success before you move on to the next one, and then set a goal for your next idea. Give your ideas the time and attention that they deserve so that they can be as successful as you want them to be. Your list is always going to be there. You can always go back to it. So when you're focused on an idea, give it your full attention. So if you made it this far in the video, I know you're ready to grow your business. So go ahead, hit the comments below with Niche Down Ninja. Yeah, boy, mom, so everything's ninja. Niche Down Ninja in the comments to let me know that you're ready. We're going to grow together. We're going to learn together. And we're going to finally niche down so that we know who we are focused on and who our ideal client is, so we can make sure they get the information that they need. So I know I covered a lot, talked about a lot. This topic is super important, and I also think super confusing when you're first getting involved. I know when I first heard the term, I was like, okay, so what does that mean? Do I need to do this? Do I need to change this? Did I do this right? Am I doing this wrong? And I was kind of lost and overwhelmed with just the concept of someone saying, hey, you need to niche down. But if you haven't done it already, make sure to go ahead and figure out your ideal client and have fun with it. It doesn't have to be work. It doesn't have to be another job. When I actually decided to create my ideal client, I took a big piece of paper and I drew a stick figure. And around the stick figure, I, gave hair. I drew little elements around. I drew little picture or little quotes or things they may say, things they may be going through. And that was how I did my ideal client. It was fun. It was an art project. It was, trust me, I'm not an artist. So the stick figure was very basic. My daughter probably could have done a better job, but it accomplished what I needed to accomplish and gave me a visual view of who my ideal client is. Once you do that, pick your idea that you're starting with, your one idea, just one, remember, just one, and run with it. It's better to have one idea move slower than you would like than have a bunch of unfinished, half-finished, not ideal ideas or not ideal products, services out there when you could have just focused on one thing at a time and made it amazing and awesome, and it would stand out against all the competition. And one last thing, if you aren't already hanging out with me on Instagram, go ahead, hang out with me on Instagram, shoot me a DM. I'm good at posting positive quotes, mostly for me, so I can wake up, check my quotes, get my day started right. So I'd love to hang out with you on there, and I will see you guys in the next video.